It's Tuesday, February 16th, and this is now on HNN.
She was special.
Court documents reveal shocking new details in the case of Kitana Rodriguez, the 18-month-old who's been missing for 2 weeks. Her father charged with murder.
I was just scared for my life.
2 people are rushed to the hospital following an apparent string of carjackings and crashes on Hawaii Island.
Get through this together.
From deadly tornadoes to frigid temperatures to hundreds of thousands without power. I'm Michael George with the latest on a powerful winter storm causing big problems across much of the country.
The goal is always to entertain.
Plus, a special preview of NBC's Young Rock. These stories and more coming up on This Is Now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for watching This Is Now. We begin with disturbing new details regarding that missing toddlers case.
That's right. New court documents just released allege Travis Rodriguez, the father of 18-month-old Kitana Rodriguez, was high on meth when he brutally beat her and shook her until she appeared lifeless. The documents say he admitted to wrapping the child's body in a bed sheet and placing it in a duffel bag.
Rodriguez just appeared before a judge today. This is new video from district court. He's charged in the killing of Kitana, and authorities are still searching for the little girl's body. Rodriguez's friend, 48-year-old Scott Carter, also appeared in court. Court documents say Carter allegedly gave Rodriguez a ride to an acquaintance's house, then drove off with the little girl's body and said, quote, "Don't worry about it, I'll take care of it."
The documents say a witness also reported seeing Rodriguez beating and swearing at the child. He allegedly told the witness the blood on Kitana was chocolate and that she fell in the shower. Kitana was reportedly last seen alive on January 31st at Rodriguez's Aiea home. Earlier that day, Elena Ganotise, a family friend, says Kitana and her mother Ashley came to her home, and she says the little girl appeared to be badly injured.
She was all bruised up. It was really bad. It was swollen. Her face was swollen. Her head was swollen. She had unusual bruising on top of her cheek. When I did see her that morning, it bothered me.
Of course, we're still following this case very closely. We have more details posted right now on our HNN digital platforms. We'll be sure to bring you the latest developments as they come in, on air and online.
Now, we're still awaiting those numbers, those coronavirus numbers from the State Department of Health. We'll get those to you as soon as we get them. Meanwhile, Dr. Anthony Fauci is now saying it will likely be mid-summer before the majority of Americans will be able to get their COVID-19 vaccine.
When vaccine would be more widely available to the general population, I was hoping that that would be by the end of April, namely have gone through all of the priorities and now say, okay, anyone can get it. That was predicated on J&J, the Johnson product, having a considerably more doses than now we know they're going to have. So that timeline will probably be prolonged maybe into mid to late May and early June. That's fine. But what you've got to be careful of is when vaccines become available and when they have actually been successfully administered. And I think the apparent conflict in statements is not really a conflict, because you can say, let's say in May, vaccines are going to be widely available to almost anybody, May, June. But it may take till June, July, and August to finally get everyone vaccinated. So when you hear about how long it's going to take to get the overwhelming proportion of the population vaccinated, I don't think anybody disagrees that that's going to be well to the end of the summer and we get in the early fall. When are we be able to start on that process? It's probably going to be in the springtime, because the whole process is going to take a few months to actually get implemented.
Lieutenant Governor Josh Green says the state is working on a vaccination passport. He says fully vaccinated travelers would get an electronic code to fly inter-island first, possibly as soon as next month, and vaccinated Trans-Pacific visitors in May.
And that will really mean that the summertime we can have lots of safe travelers. And remember, the more important part is we will be safe, because on May 1st, we will have 850,000 of our individuals vaccinated, or with, 400 and some thousand people fully vaccinated, 850,000 shots. So we will have that protection so that no matter what happens, we're basically safe.
The LG also says if we continue to see low cases through this week, we will have avoided that Super Bowl spike. He believes Mayor Rick Blangiardi would then be able to start loosening restrictions for Oahu.
Remember Lori Vallow? She's the subject of a new podcast that's debuting today. Mommy Doomsday was produced by Dateline NBC. Vallow was arrested on Kauai almost exactly 1 year ago. At the time, her 2 children who lived in Idaho had been missing for months. Their remains were later found on a property belonging to Vallow's new husband, Chad Daybell. Both of them are charged with felonies, but not for the murder of her children. Here's NBC's Keith Morrison with more about the new podcast.
Well, the investigation has been going on and still going on up to this moment and will continue. We thought this was a good time to step in with the podcast because we have learned a great deal over the last year. When you poke a story and you dig in a little deeper, you discover that nothing falls fully made out of the sky. There are so many curious backstory details that we were able to pry out that are absolutely fascinating.
What appears to be a one-man crime spree left 2 people badly injured yesterday on a remote Big Island coastline. Witnesses say it started when a woman was carjacked at Kahena Beach near Kalapana. That carjacker allegedly crashed into the woman as he sped off in her car. The woman was later airlifted to Oahu with life-threatening injuries. The thief also stole a truck with puppies in the cab, and the truck's owner, Tyler Ham, jumped into the back as the man took off. Ham tells us he hung on for about 15 minutes.
I was just scared for my life. I knew I had almost made a bad decision getting in the truck at that point. And so I knew I had to jump out. And so that's what I did. While he might have slowed down to 40 or 50 miles an hour, because the whole time he's hitting probably 80 easily in these small, narrow double lane roads. And at one point he slows down to maybe 40 or 50 and I'm able to jump out. And that's how I've got this fractured hip.
Police arrested one man at the scene, but it's unknown if he was involved in the carjacking, so we've blurred his face. At last check, the woman who was airlifted to Oahu was in critical condition.
As we first told you yesterday, the CDC is out with new guidelines on how schools can reopen safely, but we still have no word from the state on when more kids will be back in the classrooms. Here's Sammy Selena with an update.
Parents are feeling the weight of months of online learning. Many tell me their kids need to be back in the classroom and that they're falling behind.
I think everyone is united in feeling like they want face-to-face education as soon as it's safe.
Position from the social aspect is it's absolutely better for kids, for schools to be open. It's better for them educationally. It's better for them safety-wise.
Mother and former State Senate Education Committee Chair Jill Tokuda says having the kids back on campus goes beyond education.
Having that interaction, having that bit of hope for our children, something to look forward to. That's so critical for our kids. And I think as all parents, we struggle. Are we doing enough? And we want to make sure that our children have every chance of success and that we have more eyes on them.
Since the pandemic started, the Hawaii Teachers Association has been raising the alarm about the risk to teachers. But as more teachers get inoculated, they have warmed up to the idea of returning to the classroom.
We believe within the next few weeks that many of our teachers will get vaccinated. Once that occurs and the metrics in Hawaii remain low and the other recommendations are made, then I think that definitely opens up larger possibilities of more students returning.
Many private schools have already returned to full in-person instruction, but no timeline yet for many public school students who must learn from home for now. Sammy Solina, Hawaii News Now.
Today in a Wisconsin town hall, President Biden is expected to highlight his administration's $1.9 trillion economic rescue plan working its way through Congress. Natalie Brand has more.
Tonight, President Biden will make the case for his nearly $2 trillion coronavirus relief package at a town hall in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a state he narrowly won.
People have been impacted by the pandemic. They've been impacted by the economic downturn. And the president felt that he could have a good conversation with people about the path forward.
The White House announced Tuesday that it's extending the foreclosure moratorium to June 30th on federally guaranteed mortgages and the window for borrowers to request a pause or reduction in mortgage payments. The administration also gives a 6-month extension to borrowers who were already in mortgage payment forbearance before June of last year.
It remains critical that Congress pass the American Rescue Plan to deliver more aid to struggling homeowners.
Press Secretary Jen Psaki says the White House COVID response coordinator announced in a call with several governors that the administration will increase vaccine supply to 13.5 million doses per week to states.
The administration also plans to double supply to pharmacies, with 2 million doses expected to go out this week. FEMA opened its first federal state mass vaccination sites in Los Angeles and Oakland, California on Tuesday.
FEMA is committed to vaccinating everyone. This is a framework of focus, not just on efficiency, not just speed, but on the issue of equity.
The FEMA sites are expected to serve as pilots as the federal agency aims to set up 100 similar sites nationwide with an emphasis on vaccine deserts and underserved communities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Marriott's CEO Arne Sorensen has died after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The hotel chain called his death unexpected, though Marriott did announce 2 weeks ago he would be reducing his schedule to continue cancer treatment. The 62-year-old was diagnosed with stage 2 pancreatic cancer in May 2019. He was Marriott's first CEO outside the founding family. Marriott says a new CEO is expected to be named within the next 2 weeks.
It truly was a disaster last night.
To severe weather now. At least 3 people are dead after a tornado tore through parts of North Carolina. The tornado is part of a dangerous weather system wreaking havoc across much of the mainland. Millions of people in Texas are without power during record low temperatures. Michael George has the very latest details from Dallas.
In Brunswick County, North Carolina, residents are assessing the damage. Mangled homes, trees snapped in half from an overnight tornado.
It's definitely a very hazardous situation with debris, homes damaged, stuff all over the place.
In the small town of Damascus, Georgia, the winds shredded homes in minutes.
We're all going to come together, try and make arrangements and do the best we can to get through this together.
In Texas, hundreds of thousands of people are still without power at the worst possible time, as Texans are facing another night of record low temperatures in the single digits, as well as more snow and ice. Austin's mayor says the state just wasn't prepared for weather like this.
It gets really hot in Texas. We plan for that. But reaching these cold temperatures at this level for this duration is something that the state obviously did not plan for.
In Colorado, north of Denver, one person died Tuesday when a semi and pickup truck collided on a snow-covered highway. In Kentucky, plow trucks worked throughout the day to clear the roads. In Little Rock, Arkansas, the winter weather caused a water main break, flooding streets and parking lots. And the storm is dumping up to 1.5 feet of snow in parts of Chicago. Michael George, CBS News.
All right, he was just talking about Chicago and the Southern Plains, but this storm is really reaching very far throughout the mainland. Let me take you over to Pittsburgh, where it is 22 degrees. Yikes. And just as we were watching this on our live digital feed coming into the H&N Digital Center, the flurries are starting to fall faster there in Pittsburgh. Again, 22 degrees, and then let me just take you outside. 80 degrees. 80 degrees there.
Sorry, Pittsburgh.
Yep. Here's Guy with an update. We are going to see some rain, it looks like.
How's it on this Tuesday? A juicy cold front, another one, is approaching Kauai. Expected to stall near Kauai by tomorrow, and some of that moisture expected to come onto Oahu, although it's going to be relatively dry. Fewer showers for the east end of the state today. Kauai could get some thunderstorms firing up by midday. For Oahu, we could see those heavy rain and thunderstorm conditions probably by tonight. So heads up for the west end of the state. Take an umbrella as you head out the door today. And if you can, get to the surf. It's amazingly good today. Not that big. We got some overhead sets, yes, but high surf advisories have been canceled because the swells have dropped out. But another significant swell is due in by tomorrow. That could be close to advisory levels. But the thing is today, with the swell direction and with the winds, conditions are just epic. So we've got increasing clouds and showers today with that cold front. Cold front looming around, bringing more clouds, more showers, more heavy rain, maybe even some thunderstorms tomorrow and on Thursday. And then on Friday, things settle down, although we'll see a generous amount of windward and Mauka showers with increasing trade winds. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
If you're planning on catching the bus, make sure you grab a mask on the way out and make sure it's the right one. Billy V explains.
Thank you very much. We're down here at King and Punch Bowl Streets at one of the busiest bus stops. We're talking story with John Nuuchi, who's the Deputy Director of the Department of Transportation Services for the City and County of Honolulu. Thank you for being here.
Aloha.
Let's talk about masks and what is required for those that want to ride the bus or the handy van.
So anybody who wants to ride the bus or the handy van needs to have a face covering of sufficient thickness that covers both their nose and their mouth at the same time.
And then for what is not allowed if they want to ride the bus?
So not allowed right now are gaiters, neck gaiters, bandanas tied around people's face and neck, and also people are not allowed to use their clothing like a t-shirt to cover their face.
I noticed that on some of the buses where they have signs, and there was one that just passed by a moment ago. What is that sign that I haven't seen before?
So some of the buses will say COVID-19, social distancing, next bus please. When the bus gets a little bit too crowded for people's comfort, above a certain threshold, our operator will call it in and they won't pick up anybody, but another bus will be following behind.
Now, this is not something new. You're kind of following along with the guidelines from CDC, right?
Yes, we basically have adopted best practices from around the nation, and we started putting these in place since the pandemic started. And these include, cleaning and sanitation and just, keeping our loads low for people's safety and comfort.
All right, John Nuuchi from the Department of Transportation Services. We asked some of the riders also here today what they thought. Here's one rider.
I think it's safer for everybody because having just a shirt is it's such a thin material. Like a bandana is also really thin. Having an actual thicker actual mask or even just a surgical mask, I think it's better for everyone, not just yourself, but also everyone else on the bus as well.
So if you want to get on board the bus or handy van, because they're both under the same company, make sure that you have the appropriate wear. If you need more information on that, just go to their website or go to hawaiinewsnow.com. I'm Billy V for This Is Now.
Thanks, Billy. We'll get to our fun from the feed stories in just a moment. But first, a breaking news update that the Department of Health just posted to their website.
That's right. We got those coronavirus numbers in, and they are low. They are reporting 17 new cases today and no new fatalities. The breakdown by island shows 3 cases on Maui, 13 on Oahu, and 1 out of state. Kauai County is independently reporting 1 new case.
And just a reminder, we recap all those numbers every day in our e-newsletter. You can sign up for that as well on your H&N digital platforms. Switching gears, break me off a piece of that vegan Kit Kat bar?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right. It's a new thing. Nestle is launching a non-dairy version of the popular candy bar called Kit Kat V. Yeah, it promises still to be the same great taste that we all love. It's ditching milk for a rice-based alternative. Huh. I'd try it. I can't see it being bad.
Yeah, I bet
you know what
can't
it still
even tell
has?
the difference.
You know what's vegan? Sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
So good.
And it's National Pancake Day, guys. So IHOP is making changes to its annual celebration. In years past, the restaurant chain has given away free flapjacks on Fat Tuesday, also known as Mardi Gras. Executives decided against that this year due to the pandemic. So instead, customers can get a free short stack anytime in April. Those who subscribe to IHOP's email club will see an IOU coupon in their inboxes. Customers not on that list can download a coupon on the company's website, but that version of the deal requires a $10 minimum purchase.
Everyone's got a newsletter, even IHOP,
That's
I guess.
right. And it's also, Fat Tuesday, which is Malasada Day in Hawaii, so.
And there's some bites already missing there, Ashley. Have you been taking a little snack
So why
break?
don't you read this one while I finish this?
Oh, thanks so much. Let's see what we got here. So, hold on one second.
It's Disney.
Disney, and take a look at this. It took 5 years, but Disney is finally getting ready to release a new animated short. It's called Us Again. The mini-movie is said to be a blend of dance and music and storytelling. Oh, cool. It's inspired by the 1960s. I'm learning this as we go. Thanks for giving me the script. I love vintage stuff. It will be Disney's first theatrical short again since the 2016's Inner Workings.
I can't wait. Grab your popcorn and your malasadas, everybody.
Oh yeah, and you got yours, and you'll want it for this because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's new show, everyone's waiting for this, Young Rock, premieres tonight right here on KHNL. I think it's at 7 o'clock. Here's an awesome preview for you.
The goal is always to entertain. That's the driving force behind what I do. So here comes Young Rock right down the pike, and I hope you enjoy it.
You must be rich. What's your name again?
Tomas. Why'd you say your name was Tomas? Because it sounds way cooler than Dwayne.
This entire series has been inspired by moments in my life growing up. It's my mom and I following my dad around the world as he wrestled.
The most exciting part of being in the show is it's about Dwayne Johnson, and everyone would want to see that. This is where you make your money.
It's my earlier years when I was a teenager. I went to about 3 or 4 different high schools. By the time I was 14, they all thought I was an undercover cop.
No one thinks that. You have a full mustache and you're bigger than a dad. I'm 15.
When I was growing up, there wasn't a real consistency in terms of home life.
Need any help finding anything?
Nah, nothing's really catching my eye. Thanks, though.
Which eventually led to me buying a car.
Here she is.
From a crackhead.
Dude, that's good.
There was another crackhead who woke up in the back seat.
Where are we headed? Jeez, who the hell are you? I'm Waffle. It's an awesome show with tons of super dope characters, and they all have real stories behind them.
We examined my later teenage years as I got to the University of Miami.
Dad, you were here this morning?
I go out of my way to set my son up for success.
What, by telling him I was going to be on a Wheaties box?
Surprise!
I mean, it's an incredible honor. We get to really get a good insight into Dwayne's life.
I got big dreams for us.
My big dream is you.
This is a woman who, through a lot of challenges in her life, managed to really keep the family together, and she always was coming from that place of pure heart and love.
Nothing is more important than family.
My grandmother was the first female wrestling promoter.
She said she has to be twice as mean so that she could get respect from a male-dominated sport.
We run the gamut of all these moments and experiences, including the unpredictable world of professional wrestling. We had to cast all the wrestlers. Randy, Macho Man, Savage.
Yeah, now that is a precious memory, yeah.
The Wild Samoans. The Iron Sheik.
What and margarita?
Are you old enough to drink yet, Papa?
Oh, I'll drink it for him.
Junkyard Dog.
See how fast you are.
Oh, that's quick.
Andre the Giant.
Hey!
What are you looking at? I think it's something that the audiences are really going to enjoy.
What is the monster's name again?
E.T.
But I think also they might find maybe a few lessons along the way that we've learned over the years as a family.
Sign my chest! I'll sign your chest.
No, you won't.
Awesome. The casting looks amazing, and those jokes are really hitting just in that small teaser reel.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the Andre the Giant reference, all those references to the past wrestling that I remember as a child, and that joke, you have a mustache and you're as big as a dad.
Yeah, and that fanny pack, I love it.
I know. The costuming looked good, and I think they're going to really probably tap into a lot of different places around the islands as well.
For sure.
Yeah, you guys, that's going to do it for This Is Now. Remember that airs tonight on KHNL at 7, Young Rock. You will not want to miss it. Also remember, Ashley's going to be back with you with a bunch of updates, also on KHNL at 4 p.m. for First at 4 with Mark Carpenter as well. We'll see you tomorrow right back here from the H&N Digital Center.
Aloha.